What is happening with college education? Unemployment is high, cases are way up, campuses are dead, teachers are doing Zoom classes, and universities are keeping tuition the same? You have an important decision to make with your money and how you want to invest for your future. However, colleges are not meeting the moment. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video as always. If you don't mind smashing that thumbs up and go to the bottom right corner and subscribing. Helps the YouTube channel massively with the algorithm. I appreciate each and every one of you that's a part of my channel. As a thank you, don't forget to head to the description below to get your free stock from signing up for Robinhood, then go over and get 4 free stocks when you sign up for a Webull account. Deposit at least $100, with each stock being at least $8. You can also get $30 for opening up a free M1 Finance account. And if you're looking for a new credit card, I have a link in the description for a bonus of $200 when you spend $500 in the first 3 months. Alright, let's get into this. Hey guys, I came across this article I thought was interesting. It's titled, Colleges Slash Budgets in the Pandemic with Nothing Off Limits. So what this article is talking about is how university and colleges are currently finding themselves under financial distress because of everything that's going on with the pandemic and how people just don't want to go to school during this time and interact with other students. So it's been straining a lot of their budgets. So we have Ohio Wesleyan University is eliminating 18 majors. The University of Florida took steps to start furloughing its faculty. The University of California, Berkeley paused admissions to its PhD program in anthropology, sociology, and art history. And they're saying that pandemic has cost colleges a total of $120 billion throughout the entire United States. Harvard University, even though Harvard University has a huge endowment, they approximately a $41.9 billion endowment. They themselves are feeling it with a $10 million deficit so far. Even the richest college has to tighten their belt. At the very start of the pandemic, a lot of colleges went on hiring freezes to pretty much stop the bleeding, but now they're finding that that's not even enough. They started sending employees early retirements. So imagine you don't have enough to actually retire, but your college is saying, hey, retire. We're not going to keep funding you. We're not going to keep paying for you. So reading this article, you find that a lot of the pain has been felt by liberal arts colleges. So liberal arts colleges, if you don't know, are colleges that deal with a lot of liberal majors, and you have your theater, sociology, anthropology, pretty much anything you get a Bachelor of Arts in is considered a liberal major. The University of South Florida announced that they are changing the graduate school program, and a lot of colleges are doing this. They're focusing a lot on graduate school. Apparently, graduate school is where a lot more people voluntarily go. It's a lot more student funded. That's why graduate school is so much more expensive. And when people aren't making enough money, they're not going to go to graduate school, to be very honest. And they're not going to spend money on graduate school liberal arts majors. And they're saying that the University of Akron, they had to invoke a special clause in their collective bargaining agreement with their employees, which supersedes tenure. You imagine that tenure is supposed to be this protection against you. You're protected. You can do whatever you want. But a lot of the agreements have clauses in which if something big happens that's unforeseen, they can go ahead and skirt those rules and lay you off. And your union can fight for you. But in the end, if a judge sees that a pandemic is unforeseen cause, then there's nothing you can do. They'll lay you off. And that's what happened with the University of Akron. 97 unionized faculty members and are going to get laid off. Robert Kalechin, a Seton Hall University associate professor, stated that they haven't seen a budget crisis like this in a whole generation. Just to give you some idea of what's going on. The article goes on to say that before the pandemic, colleges were already struggling from the effects of the financial crisis in 2008. Declining enrollment and tuition has been skyrocketing. So with a lot of that, a lot of their numbers have been declining anyway. The pandemic just came out of nowhere and just made things worse. Obviously, the more well-known colleges, more well-funded colleges are feeling it less, but however, they're still feeling it. The colleges that weren't doing so well are obviously doing worse. They're saying that this crisis is affecting a lot of the rural colleges, and these colleges are supposed to be escapes for a lot of Americans. So for example, in the coal mine areas of Pennsylvania, there's 14 campuses that have lost over a fifth of their past decade enrollment numbers. So what that means is a lot of those areas that had colleges set up so people can find a way out of coal mine industry, that's pretty much where you're expected to as soon as you turn the right age, start working and work your entire life and die as a coal miner, which is an honest profession. However, a lot of people don't see themselves doing that and want to escape from that. So it's tough when you're trying to escape, but you don't want to see campuses die or colleges die because they're not getting enough enrollment. All the people that want to go to those places no longer can go. So it's just an ugly situation. But I mentioned before in the past video that I will put on the screen and in the description below. What's happening is it's making situations that were bad even worse. So a lot of students, instead of trying to pay high tuitions during this time, have decided that, hey, we're just going to skip and take gap years and maybe work instead to make ends meet because they can't afford the college because maybe they got laid off, whatever financial situation they find themselves in. So freshman enrollment United States wide is down 16% according to the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center. I believe that a lot of students, a lot of high school students found themselves wanting to go to university, and then right before they were ready to graduate, things happened, and now their family situation back home is different and they're in different financial situations. So yeah, I can see a lot of students not showing up because they just can't afford it anymore. The virus was going to end up costing a lot of these institutions $120 billion in increased aid, lost housing fees. Students don't want to stay on campus, so no more sporting events revenue in itself was a huge cost of money, but it's also a big moneymaker for schools. So that's gone because who's playing sports? Only college sports that's still going on is most likely college football, and if you're not a big school, then you're most likely not playing college football anyway. So let me know if there are any other college sports I haven't mentioned that are still going on. That's all I know. A lot of colleges have endowments, big or small. However, a lot of campuses can't dip into their endowment just because of the way it's structured. So they have to do everything else to pretty much become whole. That's why there's a lot of layoffs going on. So what I mean by cutting their budget, abolishing athletic programs, deferring campus construction, laying off administrative staff and cafeteria workers, in social sciences and humanities, more liberal majors. When universities start disrupting PhD programs because of this, it's having a negative impact on the whole entire pipeline. And for them, their concern is low-income students. They want to attract low-income students. They want to attract diversity into their campuses. And when you start messing with education, then a lot of people won't feel compelled to actually take their education further. And that's going to have decades of an effect. And the pandemic already has a huge impact on low-income students. They did a survey on 292 private nonprofit schools by the National Association of Independent Colleges and Universities. 8% decrease in enrollment among students who receive federal Pell Grants. If you don't know what federal Pell Grants are, they're need-based grants given by states and colleges depending on your family's income. So they're determining that the ones that need the Pell Grants, the ones that are most affected, they had a drop in about 8%. They're saying that this pandemic could become a situation in which there's a lost generation of students that just don't further their degree because of it, and there's just going to be this gap. I know on YouTube there's been a lot of college bashing and saying whether it's worth it or not, but in reality, I went to college, I obtained a computer engineering degree, and I spent way longer than I needed to in order to obtain it, but I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I was able to go through that. I love the experience. I just can't imagine not being able to do that if I had graduated a few months ago. Just not being able to have that college experience, and that's really sad. At the same time, you don't want to find a situation in which you're not fulfilling your dreams. I'm a big believer in that college is for networking and for people who need a degree to go into the field they wanted to. So that's engineering, that's computer science, that's becoming a doctor, that's becoming a lawyer. And a lot of those tech jobs are greatly needed in the United States, and they have great ROI. If you're gonna go to college, make sure you're going in the field that you're trying to do. It's a good return on investment because every year it's become more and more expensive, and colleges aren't going to be reducing the tuition anytime soon. So the Ohio Wesleyan president, Rock Jones, told their students that they're phasing out majors because of the budget. All of them are liberal arts majors, and it will save them about $4 million. So for the lucky faculty that are going to survive the pandemic and the financial crisis that's taken a toll on universities, the faculty that stay on may not even work in the same department that they've been working in, because there's going to be such a wide layoff. People are going to be reshuffled. They'll be re-signed, and they could be just working administrative work. That's how bad it is. Ms. Kalichin said that the coronavirus had worked its way into the core of the nation's academic machinery. The damage would likely be long-lasting, and these cuts are going to continue long past the pandemic. There's not going to be any change in sight for what's going on in universities. So yeah. Alright, with that said, like and subscribe for more content. Get your free money from Webull and Robinhood with the links in the description below. Also, let me know what you do if you are in this situation in the comments. If you like this type of content, I'll do more of it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and until next time.